on in the world of combat sports. And it's always fun when it's one of those weekends where there's no Bellator or UFC. That changes, of course, this weekend. Two very good, I think, UFC and Bellator cards happening at the same time Saturday night. Bellator 199, headlined by King Mo versus Ryan Bader. The final first round fight in the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix. And then it's UFC 224 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which I think is a really fun card.
10 seconds.
And that, of course, is headlined by Amanda Nunes and her women's bantamweight title against one. Getting to a bunch of interesting fights in that card. Okay, we'd love to discuss it with program. A lot going on, as always. It's a stacked show, a jam-packed show. We'll run down today's lineup and first guest, 505 will do after.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
And it's your boy Taco Bell Wani with some great news for all the Platinum Mike Perry fans, myself included. Mike Perry has taken to Instagram to reveal that he is now training full-time out of Jackson Wink ahead of his UFC 226 Slugfest with Yancy Medeiros. Now, I mean, UFC 226, I mean, there's Slugfest after Slugfest after Slugfest. We might as well just call it a Slug Festival, right? I'm serious. We've got, starting with Yancy Medeiros versus not Yancy Medeiros and Mike Perry. That's lower on the card. Of course, the card's headlined by a champion versus champion super fight between Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. Then we got another title fight, though, between Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. Then the Slug Festival starts. We got Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou. We got Paulo Costa versus Uriah Hall. We got Mike Perry versus Yancy Medeiros. I mean, we could go on and on if you look at the UFC 226 fight card of just great style matchups. Very fun to watch, whether you're a casual or a hardcore fan. These are going to be fighters' fights. There's not going to be any lollygagging, wrestle fucking, none of that on UFC 226. Not until maybe the main event. We don't know how that's going to go, but either way, the Fight Pass prelims stacked. Striker versus striker almost. A lot of these fights are striker versus striker, so you're going to get to see what the casual audience likes to see, and it's all just going to build up into a great night of fights. So that's another topic for another day. UFC 226 is going to be great. But speaking of Mike Perry specifically, it's awesome to see he's going to be training out of Jackson Wink. There's a couple of things to point out about Mike Perry training out of Jackson Wink, though, because if you guys recall, some of you might know, some of you might not, there was a lot of talk of Mike Perry possibly going and training with ATT ahead of his UFC 226 fight. Mike Perry's riding a 2-fight losing streak right now. He lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio. That was his first loss, and then most recently to Max Griffin. But since then, Mike Perry's talked about, you know, going and training with one of these more highly touted camps, you know, where they have champions. AT&T got Tyron Woodley, Amanda Nunes. Jackson Wink has John Jones, former champion. Holly Holm, former champion. But they've got other killers at Jackson Wink. Donald Cerrone, I mean, John Dodson, Holly Holm. Jackson Wink's got some legit, Carlos Condit, some very legitimate, highest level fighters in the world. Now, the thing about ATT, which is where Mike Perry was talking about training. Even if you recall, if you remember when Felony Charles Bennett punched Colby Covington in the face at that Cam Soda's Legends card, Mike Perry was there. Mike Perry, that was like an ATT event. There was a lot of ATT guys on that card fighting American Top Team guys. The whole, in every single one of those fights, there was 5 fights on the night. One of them was an American Top Team guy in each fight. It was based out of Florida, which is where ATT's based out of. Colby Covington was in the audience. So that was really an ATT event, which Mike Perry attended because Mike Perry was just going to go check out ATT before he made the move. You know, just get a feel for things. Now, one of the things about AT&T is we all know fucking Colby Covington trains out of ATT, and Colby Covington and Mike Perry are not the best of friends. In fact, they don't like each other at all. If black belt with these hands, if they touch, I'm gonna break your jaw. You know what? We're gonna play that at the end. Colby Covington's a bitch. He called Brazil a dump and then he talked about my chick. He called her a horse face, but we all know you're gay. If we fought today, you'd probably try to suck my dick. Pause. I'm the hardest hitter that Colby has ever saw. Black belt with these hands, if they touch, I'm gonna break your jaw. Catch you in the streets, we know Colby gonna press the charge. How you in the UFC and run into the law? He's snitching, so we just gonna call him an MMA hole, and they whole team can run up and get their face swole. The full-time family is ready, yeah, this the takeover. Full-time family is ready, yeah, this the takeover. Sorry, I got the Mike Platinum Perry bug in me. You know, that was that Mike Perry versus Colby Covington battle rap. Yeah, we wasn't fucking around. But either way, Mike Perry, Colby Covington don't fuck with each other. Mike Perry got a lot of fans. Colby Covington got a lot of haters. People that don't like him. He says some foul shit. Colby Covington said some shit about Mike Perry's girl. Bada boom, bada bang. Not the best idea. Another thing I noticed about AT&T, they've got a stable of legitimate welterweights. I'm talking Thiago Alves, Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley. I could probably name 6 welterweights that all train out of ATT. Now, so the thing about that is, if Mike Perry goes and trains with these guys, maybe that takes, you know, some of his fights away, you know, because some guys don't like fighting their teammates. Although at ATT it's a little different because Colby Covington's there, and I'm sure a lot of the people would love to hop in there with fucking Colby. Tyron Woodley, you know, a lot of people train, you know, they're out of ATT, but they're not necessarily rolling and sparring together. Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington aren't rolling and sparring together on a daily basis, which is why they probably can't wait to fight each other, even though they're both ATT. But if Mike Perry was to train out of AT&T, he'd be training with a lot of top welterweights that might take away, you know, like we see in light heavyweight. Alexander Gustafsson and Glover Teixeira don't want to fight, and none of them want to fight Jimmy Manuwa because they're all teammates, you know? So that's one thing that Mike Perry could have ran into at AT&T on top of Colby Covington. So that might not have been the best spot. That could have been what led to him going to Jackson Wink instead, because I heard a lot more about Mike Perry going and training at AT&T, but I didn't really hear about Mike Perry going to Jackson Wink, the rumors or whatever. He showed interest in going to ATT, but all that aside, looks like Mike Perry's actually going to be spending his time with Jackson Wink. I ain't mad at it. There's a lot less welterweights there as far as in the UFC, which, I mean, I don't know if I don't think that would be too much of a problem anyway. If there's, you know, 2 or 3, well, I don't think Mike Perry's going to be a guy, sorry, I'm not going to fight this guy, boom, boom, boom. They just became teammates. And to be fair, we don't 100% know. Mike Perry could just become the Jackson Wink for this camp. But I'll just say this to get out of here. Mike Perry, I did see some good signs in that beginning video at the very, you know, the clips of him training. We saw Mike Perry throwing kicks. We saw Mike Perry hitting a little takedown, even though it's just some sparring, some training, you know, wasn't too much. But all I'm saying is Mike Perry going to one of these top teams is really going to allow him to round out his game and become one of the best fighters in the world. You know, as of right now, Mike Perry's a knockout artist. He's a guy that's fucking a black belt with his hands. You know, he said that. It was pretty funny. But either way, that's what he do. He knocks fucking dudes out. He's a knockout artist. And so the people that have had success against Mike Perry are the people that fight the smart game. They don't get into a slugfest with him. They try to fucking, you know, not get knocked out. If you can avoid being knocked out and try and pick Mike Perry apart, that's going to be your best bet. Or try and take Mike Perry down, that's going to be your best bet. So, but people have had success with that, which is why now it's great to see him rounding out his game instead of just running his head into the wall. I can't just keep being a knockout artist in the UFC. I can't just keep trying to knock a guy out in the UFC. I can't just keep looking for an overhand right in the UFC. I can't only do one thing in the UFC. I've got to round out my game. I've got to be able to set up my knockout shots. You know, I've got to be able to feint, or I've got to be able to do whatever I need to do to set up my shot, so I'm not, so people can't just read me, you know, and see, what's it called, fucking, see what's coming. You know, people when they fight Mike Perry, okay, he's probably coming for this. So with that being said, man, it is what it is. Mike Perry, I think this is a great move for him. He's going to be rounding out his game. He's training with one of the best, you know, MMA camps there is. Jackson Wink, AT&T. These are some of the best camps out there. World champions in their stable. So this is a big move for Mike Perry. I think it's going to show in his game. He's going to be fighting. He's got a tough fight ahead of him at UFC 226 against Yancy Medeiros. This should help with that, but still, it's going to be a great fight, man. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.